Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances of Lord Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj's daily call. Thank you for joining. So today, today class will be given by His Grace Vrasbh Das Prabhu. Thank you, Vrasbh Das Prabhu, for your time and agreeing to enlighten us with Krishna's words. So today, as far as I'm aware, we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 15th chapter and 10th verse. Is that correct, Prabhu?
Just a second. I need to enter again. Just a second.
That's fine, Prabhu. That's fine. I will share the verse by the time you settle your phone. Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming. I found my name in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. It was Rishabhasura. It's another name of a bull demon. I have just a shorter version now. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 15th chapter, verse number 10. You hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Ganachana Shalakha Chukshumritam Nilatasma Shri Gurune Namaha Narayanam Naskritam Narachadarotavam Dersarasasi Dvasatatushatu Dirayat. I pray to my spiritual master that he empowers me to speak what he would like me to speak. Verse number 10. Vanyastava Dimakya Kapta Mahabhishekam Shlagishta Charuka Baram Kitavai Sabhayam Sprishtam Vikirya Padayopati Shrumukyam Yastat Trio Krita Hatesha Vimukta Keshaham. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, which is today his disappearance day in Europe. It was he only who loosened the hair of all the wives of the miscreants, who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair, which had been nicely dressed and sanctified for the great Rajasurya sacrificial ceremony. At that time, she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes. Purport. Queen Draupadi had a beautiful bunch of hair which was sanctified in the ceremonial function of Rajasurya Yagya. But when she was lost in a bath, Dushashan touched her glorified hair to insult her. Draupadi then fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna decided that all the wives of Dushashan and company should have their hair loosened as a result of the battle of Kurukshetra. Thus, after battle of Kurukshetra, after all the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, all the wives of the family were obliged to loosen their hair as widows. In other words, all the wives of the Kuru family become widows because of Dushashan's insulting a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord can tolerate insults upon himself by any miscreants because the Father tolerates even insults from the Son. But he never tolerates insults upon his devotees. By insulting a great soul, one has to forgo all the results of pious acts and benedictions also. So once more the translation. It was he only who loosened the hair of all the wives of the miscreants who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair, which had been nicely dressed and sacrificed for the great Rajasuria sacrificial ceremony. At that time she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jana-Shalakaya Chakshubulitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mobishtam Svaptam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupam Kadantmayam Padanti Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakajata Sakagana Raguratan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Suadvuta Parijana Sakita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasa Haganalita Shri Vishakam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopsha Gopika Kadara Kantan Vasute Tamte Kanchana Gauragi Radha Vindavaneshwari Vishnavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Varchakal Patruvishcha Krita Sinibhyacha Patana Pavani Bhavaishnava Bano Maha Namam Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Bhutali Srimati Chandramauli Swami Tinamine Namam Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashitesh Dharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Remind me if we have some time, maybe have one exercise that you can do for chanting. That would be really cool. So, interestingly, that Arjuna is speaking to Yudhishthir, your queen, even though it's like shared queen. Interestingly enough, isn't it? One of the very great points here in this verse, coming again, how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is like the most unique personality we can think of because he is the source of everything, and all of us are not the source of everything. We are here by his will, by his desire to make us, to expand us, to give us free will. And then we kind of are born in the situation where we get a body, we get a situation, we get a service. So whatever we have, we get, and we use, hopefully for Krishna service, and then we can be taken away, our skills, our wealth, or anything, everything and anything, a bit taken away by the Supreme Lord, because he is the source of everything. So it's really interesting to kind of study how this really specific person, who is actually a source of everything, how he is acting, how he is, what kind of a attitude he has towards different things. And because he's kind of a source of everything, and because he kind of is the most perfect being, we like to follow him. We like to follow his example. So in many of these cases, when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we are trying to understand him as a person. But it's a little different than all of us, because he has, like, everything. It's totally different from me. Every situation is totally different than any of us come to that position, the same position. Well, just let's say in the case of some kind of a loving affairs with other's wife. Well, it's not other's wife, it's his wife that he gave you. So literally, he's not doing anything wrong. In stealing others' wealth, or butter, it was his butter, and he just gave you the opportunity to get the butter. And of course, that is not to be obvious. He doesn't kind of give you directly the butter, saying, "Oh, look, take this butter," and then after 2 hours you see him eating the butter, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you should take it anyway. It's yours." No, it's not so obvious. Not to make it so obvious, isn't it? So also in our life, everything what we have, ideally what is everything what we are getting right now, it is because Krishna wants us to get it. Is it because indirectly for karma, or directly because Krishna really wants us to get it? Because he knows that it will purify us, it will help us to develop. So we are studying Krishna, how he acts towards himself, towards others. So he is the Supreme Father. He is the Father of all the souls. He loves the devotees and demons the same. He loves the demons and devotees the same. Well, he doesn't treat one like the group same, isn't it? Well, he's kind of not embracing the demons. He's embracing, by death, by killing them. Yeah, embracing him in that way. But devotees, he washes their feet, interestingly enough. Because Krishna is the Rasacharya. He is the enjoyer of all the rasas and all the activities. And if there is any pleasure in any activity like washing someone's feet, Krishna is the most sublime enjoyer of that as well. So Krishna is amazing. So what is the trick then? It is based on how we approach the Lord. If we approach in a fighting spirit, like I just read this barbarian who decided to attack Mathura after Krishna killed Kamsa, and then because he killed Kamsa, then all like a domino effect started to like unfold of all the demons that was like now envious of Krishna, like Jarasandha, and then Jarasandha is kind of like bring 23 Akshahinis of armies to the Mathura, which by the way there was 18 in the Kurukshetra. But anyway, who would know these numbers? So Krishna is killing all these 18 times Jarasandha's army. And then another army came, Yadavas. 30 million people came to kill Krishna. So this Yadava king, he came and he saw that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because just before he came, Narada Muni came to him and he asked Narada Muni, who can I fight with? I'm so strong, I need to like a good opponent. So he said, yeah, go and kill Krishna. Or try to kill him, at least. So Narada Muni looks like a troublemaker, sending demons, sending Kamsa, sending different people to Krishna. But he's a devotee, so he knows when Krishna likes it. When he likes it. And so this demon, I mean, this is actually he was a king, Yadava king. He recognized he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he approached him in fighting spirit. So that's why he died. Okay, at least the body. So the devotees, what do the devotees do? How do they approach Krishna? Well, we approach Krishna by rendering service, exchange of love. And when the father, okay, the sons, they can be the rascals towards him, and well, like all the world is insulting Krishna. Even we are still kind of partially Mayavadis, at least me. So insulting Krishna still a lot of times. He can forgive us, because if he's not forgiving to us, then it's then we are in a really bad situation. But it will be like a really absurd God, creates something and then hates what he creates. But of course, everything is perfect. What comes from Krishna is perfect, and all his creation is perfect. So he never tolerates insults upon his devotee. One has to. He doesn't tolerate insult upon his devotees. So, dear devotees, one of the biggest thing I would like to share with you is the importance of becoming a devotee. Importance of, well, second, aren't we already devotee? Well, yeah. Well, can we be better devotees? Yeah. So let's see how we can do that. The second question, yeah, start with here. Really interestingly enough, while studying amazing books, I came upon a definition what Krishna consciousness is. We'd like to hear a definition of what Krishna consciousness. What's the definition of being Krishna conscious? That's like Any ideas, maybe? What's the definition of Krishna consciousness? Because this is like an English word that Srila Prabhupada made. It was kind of an offspring of understanding Sanskrit and translating to a language which is English, which is not meant for self-realization, using the word that is basically made for sense enjoyment to try to this kind of a try to explain to us what is pure devotional service. So anyway, I'll make it short. In Srila Bhakti Chittamani, it is written that pure is speaking about pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness. And this Krishna consciousness comes from a Sanskrit word called Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi. Krishna Bhakti, okay, we know. Rasa, okay. Bhavita, maybe we know. Matihi. Which means to be absorbed in the mellow taste of executing devotional service to Krishna. So that means that we are constantly feeling and constantly absorbed in this loving exchange with Krishna, which is by thinking, glorifying Him, doing service, planning service, doing many different things for Krishna. And we constantly feel this taste. We feel this mellow taste. And because we feel mellow taste, we don't forget Krishna because we're constantly feeling mellow taste. It's hard to forget Krishna. You have to really knock out yourself from the mellow taste, not to think of Krishna anymore. And this is actually what Krishna consciousness means. Person who is constantly absorbed in the exchange, mellow exchange with Krishna. Interestingly enough, when I was with Janakinath, I remember one instance when we were in the class of Maharaj, and he was just standing next to me, and then Maharaj looked at him and said, "You're Krishna conscious." And I was like, "Oh my God, this guy, he's a Krishna conscious. I'm next to him. Oh my God, I'm so close to this guy who's Krishna conscious." That was an amazing moment. Even I didn't understand actually, is it this like, a magical thing? Is it like, what is it? What makes him Krishna conscious that Maharaj says he's Krishna conscious? So he was constantly absorbed in the mellow of taste. That's why he was constantly, he was not able to be out of one place, constantly preaching, constantly doing something. Interesting enough, isn't it? So, okay, so how can we come to that mellow taste according to devotional service? Not many, but some people had a doubt that Krishna is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gave us everything. Did Srila Prabhupada give us everything or not? Or he was more about sadhana, preaching. Because the question comes, now I have now I'm gonna shake your faith, Srila Prabhupada. No, never. Sorry, that will be never happening. I have a question. The point of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, is the point of Krishna consciousness to make big buildings, build temples in every city, to distribute billions of books around. Is the point of Krishna consciousness to make big scores, have a big reputation, have a high position, be influential, do big things, great things for Krishna and Prabhupada? Well, yes and no at the same time. The point of Krishna consciousness, I can cite Swami about it, it's also really nice. ISKCON, mission of ISKCON, actually. Spiritual institution in which members follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings would awake the spontaneous devotion to purchase Krishna and give association to others that can develop it. So we can build billions of temples, billions of books, and I don't know what. But if you do not develop pure love for Krishna and give it to others, that was not so productive. That was not the purpose. Because we didn't make one pure devotee. We didn't make ourselves pure devotees. Interestingly enough. So if hearing and chanting is the process of this age, and we have Mahamantra, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, so why are we why don't we develop, why don't we dive deeply into the nectar of his pastimes? Why do we not why don't we give everything up and just, be absorbed in the Mahamantra and, Bhajana Kriya, our practices, if the point in the end is to develop pure love of God, not like distributing millions of books out of false ego, which was the case before as well. So why are we then preaching? Why are we doing organization? Why are we making all these other arrangements? You can ask yourself. And the answer is because hearing and chanting is according to individual qualification. This is the vision of Acharyas. Srila Prabhupada so many times mentions that we cannot go to Vrindavan and chant the holy name of like Krishna whole day like Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur. Not only that, but actually like beginners, like at least me. Next to hearing and chanting, we need to do archanam, worship of the deity. Because if we do not do that, we are actually not engaging ourselves in service. We are not engaging ourselves in practical service. There's also probably one more reason why. But we do not have the qualification to purely hear and to purely chant and to purely read even. So it's a gradual process. We have basic chanting and basic reading. We are building adhikara, which means we are building our adhikara is like a qualification. So we can hear more and read more. Because interestingly enough, the way how we develop the love for Krishna is exclusively actually by associating with pure devotees. This is how I understand it, but please let me know if I got this wrong. We need to intensify our greed for devotional service, for love of Krishna, which comes with association of pure devotees which have them. We have the greed, which has the greed. And how we know that we actually have successfully associated with pure devotees is by developing a next phase of our devotional life, which means if we were in sadhu sangha, maybe we started to be bhajana kriya. We started to actually inspired to go to bhajana kriya, or if we were bhajana kriya, now we are inspired to intensify actually doing properly and start to having an artha nivritti. Or later on after that, it can even be that even though if you're in an Anishta stage and we are really solid in our like chanting rounds, four legacy principles, we are still sadhakas. But then when we are established in sadhaka, in nishta, then we get inspired to preach, to share it out, to go for ruchi, sakti, and to go further, because neophytes are the ones who stays on. They're satisfied by chanting, by doing their 16 rounds, doing four regulated principles, going to the temple, worshipping, and everything. But it is not the Madhya Adhikari. Madhya Adhikari is the one who is sharing the knowledge, sharing it, preaching out, reaching out, taking care of devotees, and developing love for Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains if we are on the Kanishta level, we will always have opportunity to fall down because there is no mellow taste that is keeping us in the devotional service. It is hard to be a Kanishta. It is hard. That's why we go forward. So how to go fastly forward? How to speed up? To develop spontaneous loving service, we have to cultivate the loving mood of Vrijavasis. Of course, Dasya Rasa Sankhya Vatsalya Madhurya. And second, we have to follow their footsteps. But we cannot do this with material desires. We have to qualify ourselves. So we have to actually understand that anartha, artha means something you have, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artha is something valuable, something that has value. And anartha is something that doesn't have value. So when we're speaking about anarthas, we are actually speaking about something to let go, which is actually have no value. Think about it. It's not, it actually shouldn't be so hard to leave out the anarthas when we understand how no value, how it doesn't have any value. And it's literally a choice. It's literally a decision. When the same moment comes, when we are again triggered by the anarthas, we decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to yell at this devotee. I'm not going to argue with this. And I'm not going to do that. So we have to qualify ourselves. If you want to follow the Vrijavasis, if you want to actually develop love for Krishna, which is actually the goal of our practice, and the purity is the force. So the more pure we are in our Krishna consciousness, the more we can actually be able to preach. Because people will actually see that, oh my God, you have something I really want. So how to qualify ourselves for spontaneous devotional service, which is very confidential. It's very confidential. Well, we have to first understand Krishna consciousness and devotional service by studying the first 9 cantos. This is what is mentioned. Or we have to read and study Srila Prabhupada's books. We have to read and study. We have to hear from spiritual master, who is actually repeating the same words, just in the way that it can be more like interactive, like to be more like relevant to us as well. So we are all just repeating the same words that Srila Prabhupada mentioned. None of us are actually making their own philosophy. So you can say, yeah, I'm reading Vrishabha, half an hour, 1 hour a day even. So what's the catch? Why I'm still not feeling the adhikar of, going forward. Well, one thing that we have to be also aware, often and explicitly, serious study with strictly following of Srila Prabhupada's books. I don't know, it's like now, today, I really, whatever I read, whenever there's a point, I try to put it in practice right away. And that means reading, that means studying. That means putting everything in action, discussing with others, and faithfully assimilating and following it, what Prabhupada said. Only if we are properly following what Prabhupada said, based on the level we are going to advance really quickly. So how to study? We have to avoid superficial study. We have to avoid superficial study. And if we are superficially studying, we will not understand the innermost, intentions of Srila Prabhupada's purports. We are not going to be, we're not going to be sure how to implement it. We are not going to be sure how to use it in our devotional service. And we are not going to actually develop taste for hearing. So there are 2 flaws that usually superficial study, what is like the definition of superficial study, if you ask me. That is from the book. Fail to see deeper meaning. It's like, taking the words by itself, not the context of it. And separating intentions from greater overall teachings. And I will give you just one example and we will stop here. Spontaneous devotional service from Nectar of Devotion. If we compare what Srila Prabhupada wrote on the 2nd chapter of that book, on the page 21, and the 16th chapter, which is here explicitly speaking of spontaneous devotional service, which means Raganuga Bhakti, you will see little difference. So if somebody just came to the 2nd chapter and then he read the text, which is kind of speaking about the difference between person who, a sadhaka, he gets up because he wants to sleep, but he gets up because spiritual master told him. He's doing the deity worship even though he doesn't feel like it, because spiritual master told him to do. He's doing lots of services and everything because the Prabhupada told us to do in the end. And we are making ourselves, we are forcing ourselves to do this. This is the sadhaka. But he explains that after a while, it's get automatic. It gets spontaneous and easy for us to do it. And then it's actually explanation of Raganuga. But this is not exclusively Raganuga. Actually, this definition is incomplete. So if we were just reading the second chapter and taking this overall, not understanding the concept of other times when Srila Prabhupada spoke about the same topic and try to combine this thing, but we kind of say, no, I like this because I'm already in a Raganuga if I follow this. And if I put all of other things inside, then maybe it's like something else. It's not me anymore, whatever. So then it's complete. And in the sixth chapter, it is speaking about, directly mentioning about Raganuga, following eternal devotees. So it's something that we are following, the eternal devotees, the mood of the devotees of Rajavasis or Mathuravasis, and gradually developing an eagerness and ambition to be like Rajavasis, not to be Rajavasis, be like them. And only no more material contaminations by anartha nivriti stage. That means that we already passed anartha nivriti stage. At least 75% of our anarthas are eliminated. And we have ambition to follow, to serve Krishna like he likes by following the devotees who know how to serve Krishna. So then, combining these two, chapter 2 and chapter 16, you would notice that why this person was it really easy for him to wake up, because he has a love for Krishna. He has actually a taste. He has a desire to do this, like eagerness, ambition to do this, and not like you just kind of your body get used to it, so you just kind of wake up on Mangalarati with no problem. If you don't have eagerness and love and desire to do the Mangalarati, well, maybe you're not still on Raganuga, you're still maybe purifying yourselves. So attentive reading is really crucial for holistic understanding, to faithfully implying it and see for yourselves, consulting with other devotees, senior devotees. And everything is in Srila Prabhupada's books. Literally, the more you read Srila Prabhupada's books, the more you will see that he's constantly speaking about the same topics, and you will understand it more and more. Make it as a habit, as Gurudev once said to me, that strong sadhana means regular sadhana. It doesn't mean like superpower, reading or something. I don't know, some big numbers. It's like regular with meaning and I would say absorption. Absorb yourself fully, and it's really tasteful, really amazing. So I would stop here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nice class, short and very enlightening, actually. Lots of instruction you gave out in the small class. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And it'll be nice to, if you can keep your cameras on as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's a big topic. Haribo.
Haribol,
Correct me, Shilpesh. I hope you have the whole list of corrections you're gonna do now. Haribo.
So I was just going to say it was a good class. Just I've got so far to go to become a devotee. I'm realizing more and more how small I am and how much I have to learn. So yeah, a long way to go. But thank you for the class. It was good.
Isn't it? We are all there. And I like when Manchita Prabhu, he said every day is like you kind of reset your devotional life, and again you are humbling yourself. Again you are trying to motivate yourself, enthusiastic about it. What did you like? What stuck to you the most? Shilpesh Prabhu.
Just got to keep plugging away. Every day you wake up, it's a new day to start as a devotee, I guess. And you just got to keep plugging away until, like you said, it becomes automatic. Which I'm beginning to see slowly and slowly, certain things like, you do, it's not like a chore to do your bhakti. It's like you get up and do it because you want to. I think that's the difference. Like, I woke up. Like I woke up this morning and chanted a few rounds in bed, which is like rare for me to chant first thing. So those kind of things are starting to come slowly and surely.
Yeah, it's like I think the Maharaj. I think that Maharaj mentioned that his disciples are spiritually lazy, but if we really develop, I mean, it can happen that we get into this comfort zone of I'm doing all my regulative principles, 16 rounds. I'm doing my puja. I'm doing my seva. So I'm doing well. If I just continue like this, I'm gonna be okay. But this is now a platform. If you're stable in that, this is now a perfect platform that you actually start to spontaneous loving service by the guidance of a pure devotee. Then we need to kind of associate with pure devotee to actually get his taste of doing the extra things. And one thing that's really important for a spiritual life is that we can do a seva on material level and on a spiritual level. I think that you already heard before that if you're doing things on the material level with material consciousness, like, depending on ourselves, on our like, we being proud that we can do things, we are independent, we can do this for Krishna, don't worry, like Arjuna coming, oh, you can go, Krishna, I have this, you don't have to help me, that we will going to be exhausted really quickly. I can see this in Sankirtan after 1 hour of doing my own Sankirtan, of not even, having any thought about Krishna and Gurudev, and depending on them, after 1 hour, it's like, oh, I cannot do this anymore. But if I fully depend only on them and do not rely on my own strength in the regards that I think I have some dependent on them, then I can do this for hours and hours, and it is more and more blissful.
That's good. That's wonderful to hear.
You have to practice every day. Every day we have to practice again. And that's it. And then it's like, devotional service, that's what they say, devotional service as for reward of a devotional service is more devotional service. And you're like, oh my God, I barely survived this, and you want to give me more. But because we were doing it on material plane. But if you're doing on a spiritual plane, we will be so blissful. Yes, I just want more and more. It's like somebody telling you, do you want more? Imagine that you have like unlimited capacity to eat chocolate, like carob chocolate. It's like bona fide chocolate. Devoted Gokulananda sweet. And somebody said, do you want some more? And you have like unlimited capacity to eat. Yeah, give me more. Come on. Yeah, more. Come. You want some more? Yes, I want more. And then it's like, then we cannot be lazy. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Shilpesh Prabhu. So, Prabhu, one thing what you mentioned, on back of Shilpesh Prabhu's question, that when we feel dependent, then do you mean that when we feel dependent, do we have more empowerment to do the service?
Yes, actually, this is our only strength is dependence on the Lord. Let's say I can try to tell you about Sankirtan, how I'm trying to do this. So if I go to the street and I say, oh, I'm a communicative person, I'm funny, I'm that and this, everybody will stop, everybody will stop when they see me. And then you come to the first person, he's like ignoring you, and you're like, why are you ignoring me? And then the second person came, he stopped, and you had the best speech ever. And then this person says like, wow, I'm so amazed. I really love these books. I was waiting for this moment. I was actually really interested in these topics, but you know what? I'm not going to take it now. And you're like, what? No, you have to take it now. You're going to take this now because I'm going to kick your ass. So it's like, it's my endeavors. It's like, I'm the controller. I'm doing this. I have the perfect pitch. I have the perfect characteristics for, I don't know what. I have the perfect books. I've wrapped it really nicely. You cannot say no. So I didn't think about Krishna. I didn't think about Gurudev. I was just thinking me and mine, me and my skills. And after 1 hour, you're like burned out like anything. But then the next, let's say, alternative to that is you come to outside. So you're in this moment, you're looking around and saying, okay, Krishna, we are here. I would like to serve you. You're arranging everything. Please inspire me. I'm aware of my skills that you gave me. Please let me be more aware of them. Let me use them for your service in a humble state, being careful at every moment, how I'm approaching people, what am I doing, try to get more intelligence, praying to you, give me more intelligence, how I can preach to people, how I can reach them. So you're kind of acting on the skills you have, but you're constantly praying for more. So you're constantly depending on more. And then you're just kind of you're on the moment, you're not losing your energy. You're just in the moment, you're absorbed in this. It's just blissful to be absorbed in this way. It's like, just, preaching to people, it's just an extra. Just being absorbed in Krishna and depending on Krishna and Guru and the lotus feet of theirs and in having an eagerness, let me do something for you. The determination, let me do this for you. It's already a success. It's in the end, big results are not success of a day. Big services, big festivals, they are not the success of our day. The success of our day is, were we able to be Krishna conscious the whole day? Were we able to be dependent on the Krishna whole day, even though we were just doing the regular home chores? That is the success of the day. And if you do this every day, you're pretty much on, spontaneous, like on the high levels.
That's very nice point what you mentioned, that success is not the connection, basically. Like, if you're Krishna conscious in wherever state you are, that's the best thing. Thank you, that's very useful.
Literally, if nothing happens that day but you were connected the whole day, that's 100% A+.
Thank you. And Sareti Mataji is saying, our mood in which we are performing our activities. Yes, that should be Krishna conscious.
This is the only thing we have. Everything else was given by Krishna or taken by Krishna. Anyway.
So one more question I have, Prabhu, is what you mentioned, that when you were near Guru Maharaj and Guru Maharaj mentioned to someone that you are Krishna conscious. So it's just so nice. Janakinath Prabhu, yes. So you mentioned that it's so nice to be with someone who is Krishna conscious, but I wanted to understand that sometimes we take it for granted. The devotees around us are definitely Krishna conscious. So they have been serving, spending their whole life, day in day out, going through their struggles in the material life, but also trying to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission as well. But we sometimes take them for granted, like we don't understand that they are also Krishna conscious. So how do we always have that mood that as I'm performing my services, they are also trying to and do their little for Krishna, and always be grateful that yes, everyone around us is also Krishna conscious, basically.
Well, yeah, interesting. This is why this definition of Krishna consciousness I shared in the lecture was, I'm just trying to be more concrete in my devotional life and understanding all these phrases, devotional service, pure devotional service, devotee, advanced devotee, pure devotee. It's like, we are kind of having a lot of definitions, a lot of terminology, which did we ever actually study it and try to see, like, define it? That's like when you say like somebody is Krishna conscious, by the definition of the original level of Krishna conscious, like original, where it originates from, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi, it means that somebody who is absorbed in the loving exchange of Krishna constantly. Like I was with Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj when he was a brahmachari still. It was interesting. I was actually observing him when he was a computer writing some document, and I was literally just next to him, like he's writing and I'm next to him and looking at him, And you can see he's like, he's doing it, but he's barely breathing. He's like, it's like, a lover is, with his beloved, and he's like really slowly, dramatically breathing. I was like, wow, you feel separation for Krishna. And he's like looking at me, I have to go. It's like, it's really confidential thing, but you can see in people that they are always absorbing that. That's why he's constantly excited, ecstatic, and constantly pushing. And you were like, how much energy more you can have, And so this is kind of a Krishna conscious person, somebody that cannot stop thinking of Krishna. Of course, it can be in this in some basic levels, or in the prema, some really prema big ones that they are crying all the time. So I mean, if we are trying to be Krishna conscious ourselves, we're gonna for surely appreciate the ones that are, isn't it? It's like, until I actually started preaching, I didn't appreciate preachers until I noticed, like, oh my God, how do you do these guys? I cannot move anything from like, I cannot do anything. It's like, yeah, now you understand. Now you can appreciate.
Oh, thank you. That's very useful. Thank you, Prabhu. Riti Mataji, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for the very nice class. I'm just like meditating more on this mood, especially like mood is very important if I understand it, like to progress in devotional service, because every activity that we perform, our mood should be aligned according to the instructions of Guru and Sadhu Shastra. So then you can really see the taste in that activity, and we can really progress, right? And I find it personally, when you are in a higher association, it's very have that mood, when you are engaged in activities. But when you're dealing with the neophyte devotees, we can see our mood really fluctuates. Like, we cannot be in a really proper mood, when even though you have a desire to, perform that activity in a proper mood, but it really gets distracted. How to really work on this? I know it's Krishna conscious is like a constant test, on yourself. Like, whenever you're going for any, program or anything, I always try to say, okay, I should not be disturbed by these external modes. But again, I see like I'm a failure. I come back. So how can we, really, cross this thing, so that we can have a mood, develop a proper mood at all time?
Thank you very much. Such a lovely question. Do you like, just before I'm answering it, do you know what's the definition of Kanishta Adhikari?
Kanishta Adhikari?
What's the definition? You will be amazed, actually, if you would know that. I mean, of course you know. It's here somewhere. So who is like Kanishta? We think that the Kanishta is like anyone that just came to a devotional, like become a bhakta. I would say a devotee, but just freshly new. He started to chant. Maybe he's chanting even 60 rounds or 6 rounds. I don't know. He started to practice four-legged principles and such, or at least doing something. Kanishta Adhikari means that he is rigidly following devotional service. Kanishta Adhikari. So he's like almost like a fanatical devotee. Almost. So this is Kanishta, the one who doesn't have any, he's like rigidly following forward of the principles, 16 rounds, and the principles of the Shastra. This is Kanishta. Many times, at least in places I'm kind of hanging out, they think that Kanishta is anyone that just kind of got a big bag, he's a Kanishta. But Kanishta is even like his adhikar. It's Kanishta adhikar, the qualification to be a beginner. But actually, it's kind of a serious serious level, which then fructifies in anartha nivritti, and then we go forward to madhya. So if you kind of see like a definition of kanishta, you will not find so many beginners, so many neophytes in that category. And that's one thing just to maybe be aware, just to kind of look around. The second thing is that we should be very strict with ourselves and really carefully choose our association. We shouldn't, if you want to really help someone, you will help them by your pure advancement. You're not going to help anyone to come to their lower level. You are actually helping them by being strict with yourselves, and even maybe separating yourself from or maybe like just not being so much in their association and trying to advance more. Just by your example, they will be inspired, and with time, the more you're kind of advancing, the more they'll be inspired to kind of maybe open up to you and to advance themselves. It's really hard to be sincere at this age, and it's really easy to make religion out of Krishna consciousness. Even though we are not religion, we are a spiritual preaching movement. So, like, are we preaching? Are we preaching ourselves? Are we seriously sticking to the principles and avoiding everything what is not helping us in that regard? So, in case if you feel that because of association with others, you kind of start falling from your from kind of principles or something you're following, then don't be afraid of just going forward and just picking your association wisely and more profound. This is actually a sign of advancement as well.
Okay, Prabhu. So we have to pick our association if we come to that.
Really carefully. Yeah, you have to see, maybe many of my initial Krishna conscious friends, I'm not intimately I'm not intimately developing relationship with them, but I'm always in good relationship. So, I always be here to support them, but in the end, you're flying your own plane, your spiritual plane, and you have to come to the destination. Doesn't, if somebody takes his time, this is detachment. It's called detachment. We should be detached to Krishna. We should be attached to Krishna and developing Krishna consciousness, not to each other.
Yeah,
Not to each other so much,
Mm. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Yeah, not to each other. Yeah, that's as you said, it's a gradual progress. But I can see that it's my disturbance is not like very intense like before. Before it was very intense. I used to get, but at least now, even though I get disturbed, it will go away like 1 or 2 days. But as you said, like, I need to be very cautious and pick the association, but not try to be very intimately like associate with them. Like,
it's like I try to just try to be busy. It's like one cool way to not insult anyone and not to have to explain yourself why you're not associated with them. I'm busy. It's like I don't kind of like just hang around. I always go somewhere, and like Janakinath, he's just like he did, and he's not there anymore. Why? Because he just the more you stay with such people, the more is the opportunity they will engage you in their service of their senses.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jai.
Sorry, I was talking off mute. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your time and association. It was really nice session. So we'll close the call now. And thank you again. Thanks everyone for joining. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much for today.
One
Hare
more, one time I will try to make this meditation exercise for chanting. I hope Krishna will allow me to do this. So yeah, let's think about that maybe in the future.
Sure.